So I want to know how many of you guys know how to do the renderings, the basic settings for the renderings. Panorama, 3D, video render, okay. So when you finish a project, you can directly go here, render. So let me give it a very brief introduction about it, okay? So from the render, you can see, where is my camera? So from the screen, you can see the 2D view and also the 3D view, right? And the 3D view on the big screen and then 2D view on the small screen. So this is there are 4 different types of renderings we can make. We have front view, panorama, top view. These are the pictures. And the last one is a video. So we can also render the video, okay? And from the left side, you can see the first option is the aspect ratios. So you can choose different ratios. And that is also something can impact your renderings. So the first one, 16:9 or 4:3, we use for a big room or a very big section. So you can see the view is very big, right? And for 9:16 or 3:4, we use it when you try to focus on one item. So like this one, if you only want to make a render for the coffee table, so you can choose 9:16 or 3:4, right? And the last one, 1:1, that is looks like a square, and most people use it for the social media. So if you want to post a picture on Instagram, so you can choose 1:1. And most of the time, we will choose 16:9 or 4:3 to get a bigger view. And for the resolution, we have 1K, which is a standard one. And also we have higher one, 2K or 4K. For the panorama, you can even see more options. Like the highest will be 16K. So that will be very clear, but also it will take you more time to render, right? So my suggestion is you always render a 1K first, okay? So render 1K first and check if you like the panorama, if you like the renderings or not. If you don't like it, you can make some improvement and try to adjust the lighting, adjust the design or whatever. And when you get your perfect renderings, you can always upgrade to 2K or 4K. So you don't have to use a lot of time to render, or you don't have to waste your time for the higher resolution one, right? So you can get 1K rendering, and then also you can get upgraded later. Okay, mine is already full screen. So can you check your side? So from my side is already full screen. Okay, all right. Anyway, so that is the resolution, and then we have the lighting templates. So if you are not very, how do we say, if you are not a professional, if you are not very professional about how to do the settings by yourself, the easiest way is to use the templates here. So we have over 10, I think there are 14 templates you can use, right? So you can choose different templates you can use. And later I will also show you when we just use a template, what kind of effect of the renderings you can get, okay? But if you want more, you want to customize your own lighting segment, that is also what we are going to talk about today, right? So next is about the environment. That means the view outside of the window. So you can change into different pictures, right, like these ones. And you can also upload your own pictures as a background. Okay, so that is for the left side. And for the right side, we have basically the parameter of the camera. So you can see here, the first one, that is the angle of the camera, like this. So unless you want to shoot something on the ceiling or on the floor, you can leave it to 0, which is in the middle, okay? And the next one is the height of the camera, the height. So the default one is 1,300. But if you move it a little bit higher or a little bit lower, that doesn't matter, okay? So you can just try to adjust it according to your own design. But 1,300 is the default one, is the middle one. And next is the view of the lens. So we have human view, that one very close. When you want to focus on one thing, like this one, right? So you can not only change the aspect ratios, but also you can change the view of the lens. So for the human view, the 30 is the smallest. So when you try to focus on one thing, get it very close, you can use this one. And the standard is for most of the view. So 60 is the standard for most of them. And you can see the picture, the rendering actually look very natural, very real, right? So the problem is at this moment, we cannot see the whole view of the room. So if I want to see more of the sofa or more of the TV stand, so we can also change the view a little bit bigger. You see, if I get the view very wide, I can see everything on the other side of the room. But here also comes the problem. And when the view gets bigger, you can see the rendering actually look very unreal. So the whole picture has been dragged very long. The sofa is not this long. The TV stand is not this long, right? So if you want to get the view bigger, it's fine, but we suggest from 60 to 80. 80 will be the maximum. After 80, it will look very unreal. So what if I want to keep it here 60 as the standard one, and I also want to see more of the room? There is another clipping function you can use. So I will show you the 2D view, you can see better. All right, so here it is together with the 3D view. All right, so you can see more. If I want to see more of the room, the only way is to get the camera far away. So if I put the camera far, I can see more, right? But when I move it here, you see the wall is blocking my view. The wall is blocking, right? But if you use the clipping function, so let's turn on the clipping here. And then you can just move the camera far away, but get the lens closer. You see? You can get the lens closer. You can get the camera far away, lens closer. So this is how you use the clipping function. So it helps you to see more of the room like this, right? And when you think the view is okay, you can just save the current angle. So later when you move around, you can always get it back. So you can save the current angle here. All right, so that is for the settings, the basic settings for the camera and also for the rendering itself. For the panorama, it's also very easy. When you want to make a panorama, you can use the 2D and the 3D view at the same time to help you to check how it looks like. And because this is, you want to see the whole view of the room, right? So you can place the camera in the middle or near the middle. And not on the coffee table, not on the sofa, because when you really go to a room to look around, you cannot stand on the coffee table, right? So don't put it on the coffee table. You put it somewhere there is nothing underneath. And I think from this one here, this part is a little bit empty, so nothing to show on this part. I can put the camera a little bit this way. That is fine. And before you click render, just turn the camera around and at the same time check how it looks like in the 3D view to see if this is what you want. I think the angle is not correct. Maybe a little bit here. And then you can adjust the position of the camera until you get a very satisfied view. and then we can click render. Okay, so that is for the panorama. And for the top view, we have only two choices. One is the full wall mode. So for the full wall mode, you will make a render from the top, like this, from the roof. So you watch from the top to the bottom. And also we have the no wall mode. So for this no wall mode, you will make a rendering from the side. They will hide the wall for you. See? Any side is fine. So that is for the top view. And then we have the video. The video is a little bit complicated. I have already got a video here. So let's go inside. We'll delete the one I made from before and for you guys. Okay, so for the video, you can actually create your own path, which means you can decide how you want the camera to move around. And here we have three options. Straight lines will move from left to right. And the curved lines, the camera also move from left to right, but it will follow the curve you draw. And the last one, the vertical lines, the camera will move from top to bottom, right? So let's see some example. I will first draw a straight lines and we will try to have a video of the sofa, okay? So here we go. And this is the camera. And you move it facing the sofa. And the camera will move with the path you draw like this. You see? And with a 3D view, you can change the position of the path, maybe a little bit back. So now you see the wall is also blocking the view. So I also need to use clipping like this. So let's try to move it one more time. From here to here, right? Do you see? That is how the camera is moving. And you can also change the speed, slower or faster. Okay, so that is the straight lines. And for the curve, put it here. So you can draw the curve like this. And you can get the curve bigger. You can get the curve to the other side. And you can also make it longer. So that all depends how you want to do it, right? And maybe a little bit like this. All right. And also I think I need clipping. All right, let's try. So this is how the camera is going, more clipping. So this is how the camera is going to move. You see? It will follow the curve like this. But when you use the curve, sometimes you see how the camera moves. It doesn't give the viewer a focus. So they don't know where to look exactly. So for this case, you can also choose here, focus the lens. Okay, and you can focus the lens. I think it got stuck. Okay, 1 second. I think it gets stuck. All right, here. So you can focus the lens on the sofa. And now let's take a look when it moves. It will look different. You see? So the lens will always be focused on the sofa. But without the focus, let's see one more time without the focus. Here is it. So without the focus, this is how the camera moves. And with the focus, this is how it moves, right? So that is the difference. And you can choose if you want to use the focus or not. And the next one is the vertical lens. Okay, so here we go. And where is clipping? All right, like this, right? And for this one, you can choose the starting point and the end point. So where you want it to start, where you want the camera to start, maybe here, right? And the end point, not this much, to here, okay? All right, so let's complete the video and see how it looks like. Okay, so that is the video. Of course, you can draw more paths. I draw only 3, right? You can draw more paths as long as you keep the video within 30 seconds. That's fine. And once you finish the video, you can download it. You can add some music. You can add some subtitles. That's all by yourself. Okay, so if you have any questions, guys, you can leave your message in the chat box and I will check and answer your questions, okay? All right, so these are the 4 different types of renderings you can make with Coohom tools. But I see some of you guys said when you make the renderings, sometimes the lighting is not as perfect or not ideally as you wish. So I want to show you some of the renderings I've already made. Okay, so you can see this is the first one. And all the renderings here are only 1K, so the standard is not that clear. But as I said, when you finish it, you can always upgrade the resolution to 2K or 4K to get the higher resolution, clearer one. But what I want you to pay attention is about the lighting. So this is the first one. We use the templates, indoor daytime from the Coohom tool. So this is the first one. I didn't do any customization, only from the templates. We got a rendering like this. I think it's not bad, right? It's not bad. And if you think it's not that okay, you can always go to edit, and we have the beautify. So you don't need to download the picture and use Photoshop. You can directly beautify from here to get it brighter, right? Maybe too much, like this. And the contrast, or the sharpen, these are the 3 functions I usually use, so you can get a better effect, you see? And if you want some different filter, that is also fine. You can choose from here. I think some of the filters are not that good, but it depends what kind of effect you want to get, right? So you can always get a different filter, or you can beautify the picture. But if you are asking more, so if you want to more perfect renderings, you can also customize your own lighting segment. And here I have another tool. So this one is with my customization of the lighting. You can see compared to the first one, only the template one, the whole room is brighter, right? The whole room is brighter. And also the sunlight is not that much. So this one, you can see the sunlight here and here, right? But this one only a little bit here and a little bit there. So you can actually change the position of the sun, and you can choose from which direction you want the sun to come inside of the room and where you want to get a shadow. And if you want the whole room to be brighter, that is also fine, okay? This is the second one. And the third one, because you can see here on the ceiling, we actually have some downlights, right? So if you want to show the effect of the downlights, you can also turn them on. And so I manually added some lights to simulate the light from the downlights, and with the shadow, right? So with the shadow, you can see. And also the sunlight from the window too. But this one, I think it depends, because this is the daytime. So maybe some of you guys think I don't need the shadow from the downlight. So like this, right? You don't need. But if you think, okay, I may need some of the light from the downlight, I will also tell you where to add them. and how to get. You can even choose different shapes of the shadows. Okay, and these three are the only for the daytime, and also I have another one for the nighttime. So if you want to make a rendering of the night, and you can see outside the window, it's very dark, right? And inside, this time we need the shadow from the downlights very much, right? And the whole room is not that bright, and you can clearly see the focus here on the sofa. That is from the downlight. This one here and another one here. And for this one, you can also see the shadow on the floor, and this one as well, right? And here a little bit here too. So now let's take a look how to do the customization of the lighting segment. Okay, so let's go to render. All right. And my suggestion is you always choose a template first and use the template as a basis. And on this basis, you can make some changes. So that will be easier. You don't need to delete all the lights and start from the beginning, right? So because this one can help you a lot, right? So first, let's choose the indoor daytime, and then you will go to customize. And you can give it a very own name. So I will call it A1, daytime template number 1, right? So confirm. And now you are entering inside of the lighting segment. You can also see the 2D view or the 3D view. So from the 2D, I think you can see much better, and 3D view as well. So you can use them on the same screen, right? And here is the sun, okay? Here is the sun. And all the yellow things you see are actually the light. So here's light, here's light, right? So basically we have the sunlight, we have the light from the window, and we put 2 more lights in the middle of the room to make the room look brighter. And because there is a floor lamp here, right? So there is a floor lamp, and also we put a light here to make the floor lamp looks like it's on. Okay, so that is from the template. We have these things. And how to adjust the sunlight, you can move around, you see? So you can move around, and also the focus, you can change the focus as well, where you want it to put, right? And you can also go from here, you see. Here you can change the to sunlight or moonlight. So on the left side, that is the sunlight for the daytime. On the right side, moonlight, that is for the night. And you can change the softness, the brightness. You can also change the position, you see. And for this position, you cannot see from the 2D, but from the 3D, you can see. Okay, so from the 3D, you can see if I change here, that is the height of the sun, right? Here is the sun, and you can move it, right, like this. And this one is the angle of the sun, where you want the sun to come from. Right? That is the height of the sun. So you can choose from here. And let me see, I will move the sun to this part. And the height, like this here. Okay, here we go. So we finished the light, the sunlight. Okay, and if you think the whole room is not bright enough, I want the whole room to be brighter. You can add more lights from here. We have rectangular that is usually used for a big section. So you can actually change how big you want it to be, bigger, smaller. So if I want this part, I can put a light here to in light to make the whole room look bright. And when you click on it, you can also change the color and the brightness. So maybe not that much. Let me give it a 200, okay? a 200 brightness for the whole room. So the whole room will be look a little bit brighter. And usually you will see these two are also something necessary. We will always put double lights on the near the window. So one outside of the window, one inside of the window. And we suggest the inside one to be a little bit brighter than the outside one. So you can see here, the inside one is 500. That is the brightness. And the outside one is 300 something. Okay, so they can enlight the whole room. And these two, that depends if you think the room is dark or not. So you can choose to get these ones, right? And for the downlights, you can choose from here. We have spotlights and we have downlights with different shape of the shadows. So you can choose the one you want. And if you have a disco or if you have a bar, you can also choose someone here with the different color of the lights. But I think they are not necessary for the common interior design, right? Only for some special occasions. But these ones you can use a lot. So for the most commonly used one are the position of the sun, you can choose, right? And also we can use a rectangular light to bright the whole room. You can also use a circular light as well. This one, when you try to focus on something, so if I want to focus on the base on the coffee table, so I can put one here, right? And you can also change the height if you want to make it lower. So if I go to 3D view, you can see better. All right, here it is. But if you want to focus on the base, normally we put it a little bit down, right? So not that far away. So here you can see this one will be focused. So that depends, because in the real situation, the whole room won't be look as bright as everywhere. So not the same brightness. There must be somewhere brighter, somewhere darker. So if you want to focus on this one, you can use this one, circular lights. Right. And also we have spotlights, this one as well. And the omni lights too. So that one depends. It looks like something like this. Okay. So not like a very common used one. Okay, I think these are the basic things we can do. So for all the lights, you can change, when you click on it, you can change the color, brightness, and you can also change the size and the length, the width, and also the position, like how far away it is from the floor. So if you want it to be higher, here, if you want it to be higher, or if you want it to be lower. But you can drag this one to choose too, okay? So you can drag the arrows to change the position as well. All right. So I think for this one, we will just try to put a circular rectangular light to make the whole room a little bit brighter. Let's give it 200, okay? And also I want to add some downlights. So on this side, we have 4 downlights, right? But because this is the daytime, so I don't need all of them on. I will just put 2 here and to add some lights on top of the sofa, okay? So you can just go here, which one? Maybe the first one. I think the shape is not bad. So I can drag one here. You can adjust the height, maybe a little bit higher, because that is downlight, right? And then you can move it to change the position of it. Oh, sorry. I think where did we go? Okay, let me put one more here. right here is a little bit hard, 2,300, right? And then I can move the position here and make sure, okay, this one we don't need it. So make sure it is right, close to the downlight, right? And then you can make a duplicate. Press Alt on your keyboard and drag it both on the same height. Okay. And let me pack the brightness. So this one's 300, I think it's too much. Let's get it 150 because this is the daytime. We don't want it to be too bright. 150, okay. And then you can save. This is your new template with your own customization. It's right here. And now we can use this angle we just saved. And we will make a render. Okay, this one. Long view. And then we can make a render. Or you can check how it looks like. Okay, I think it's still pending. We will wait for this one and let me show you how to do with the night. Okay, so for the night, it's actually the same. You just choose the indoor night template. And because when you use the indoor daytime, you get the environment picture also is the daytime pictures, right? But if you choose the indoor nights, you can actually get something like this. So you don't want the room to be dark, but the outside picture is still very bright, right? So they will be the same. First, you choose indoor night template, and you go to customize indoor night, right? Choose this one. Make sure you choose the night and confirm. You will be inside of this setting as well, okay? So the basic setting are actually quite similar, but what I want to show you is about the sunlight. And now we don't have the sunlight at all. The status is off. But you can also turn it on. It doesn't matter. But for the sunlight, if you keep it on, you don't need to make sure you don't forget to change the temperature here to the moonlight, to the end. If you leave it here, it will still be look like the daytime. So we'll move it to the end. Okay, that will be the daytime. And for the softness with the dress, softness of the shadows with the dress 20, the brightness 20. Okay, so that is also the suggestion. It doesn't mean you have to use 20/20, but as we have tested before, 20/20 looks better. Okay, and also the position you can change where you want the moon to come from, right? So you can choose these ones as well. Okay, and then for this one, I think we will definitely add some downlights. So we will try to add all the 4 downlights on that side. Okay, so this time we'll choose a different one. What about this one? Okay, so click on it, and then we change the height to 2,300, and move it to the position that you need. Here, right? But this one, I think 300 is okay because the whole room is very dark, right? And then you can also press Alt and drag this arrow to get it to the position where the other downlights are. Okay, so now save, and we'll make another rendering with this template, indoor night, right? Same angle, this one, and render. So I think the other one is finished. You see here? I think now the whole room looks too bright. We will make one more adjustment later. because the whole room is too bright, we cannot actually see the sunlight from the shadow of the sunlight. And also you can see here, it's very bright, right? The two downlights we put just now. And you can also see the shadow coming down to the sofa. All right, so with this one, we will make some changes, we'll make some improvement as well. What I want to show you guys is that with different designs, there is no certain rules for how to do the setting of the light. So with different designs, with different materials of the models, so some of the tiles are very reflective, but some of the materials are not. So with different designs, with different textures of the models, and there will be different effects. And you need to do the settings again and again until you get the perfect one. That's why I said always get the 1K. So 1K will be faster, and then you can check how it looks like, and then we can make some improvements. Okay, so this is something we'll fix later, and this is the night view we just saw. I think this one is okay, much better than the other one, right? We can clearly see the shadow from the downlights, and this shadow is very big. If you don't like it, you can choose a different type. Try to make it smaller. Okay, but let's go back to this one, and we will make some improvements. So the whole room will be less bright, and we will take away these two downlights. And I think I accidentally deleted the lights for the floor lamp as well. Okay, so let's go back to render. And this is the template we just used, right? Okay, so here it is. For this one, let's make it maybe 100. Lights brighter, right? And these two, we will delete them. And what else? Oh, okay, this one I forgot, right? Maybe this one. Maybe this one. Okay. So we'll get another fill light for it. And the color, I will choose it a little bit yellowish. Okay. Let's see if the position is okay, right? Right here, okay? So you can drag it down right here. All right. The brightness, 400, I think it's okay, right? And if you want to get more focus, this time we will put one more spotlight on top of the base. So let's check the difference. A little bit off right here, and I will give it 150 brightness. Okay. This time we will look one more time. And if you guys have any suggestions or if you have any questions, don't hesitate to leave me a message in the chat box. Okay. All right. So while we wait for the render, let me see if there are questions. Not yet. Okay. So if you have questions, you can leave your questions now while we wait for the next render. Not yet questions. I think maybe after you have tried it yourself, you may have more questions. But can we export render images? Yes. No, but not in EXR format. I don't think so. But you can download the images, and then maybe you use some other software to convert the format. Okay. All right, so let's check the new rendering. And now I think it looks better. The whole room is not that bright, and we can also see the shadow from the window, that's the sunlight shadow, right? And also one focus here, not that obvious, but you can see this part is a little bit bright. And also the shadow of the brightness from the floor lamp. Maybe I can make it a little bit more yellowish so you can see the difference, right? But I think this rendering is much better than this one. This one is okay. And also it looks like a perfect renderings, and then you can download it. Okay, so you can download it. But for the format, I think you only need other software to convert it. Have you tried auto exposure with custom light? What do you mean auto exposure? If you say auto exposure, that means using the template only. So this one, this is from our template. I didn't do any changes. That's the effect from the template. So it depends how you want it to be. Sometimes it's overexposed. Yes. The overexposed, that depends on the brightness of the light. So you can try to lower, make it 100 brightness or 40, 50. Just try to get a suitable number for the brightness. That is one thing. Another thing is about the texture of the models. So when you upload your own textures to the enterprise catalog, they will ask you to choose what type of texture it is. If it's for the model, if it's for the floor, if it's for the wall. And we have some of the textures reflected. Some of the textures are not reflective. And also we have some of the textures, they have the, I think that is called aluminum. So they will shine itself. So that is another thing can also in fact the exposure. So one is for the brightness of the light you use, one is for the texture of the model itself, right? So that depends. There's an icon on the rendering mode. I don't know, I haven't used it. Where is the auto expose? Here, the auto exposure. Okay, so this one, yeah, the light brightness is automatically adjusted. So it's just like using the template. So you can try, but not like every time it can get exactly the same thing you want. So we will use this one and we try to make another render. Okay, but I think there is also something you can adjust, which is, one second, let me see, from the environment. So from the environment, actually we have some advanced settings, right? So here you can also use them for the color correction, impact highlights, and the ambient occlusion. So this one is like the shadow of the model. So only when you want to do something like with the mirror or the glass, or if you want to have a close rendering of a picture on the wall. So that is also something you can adjust from here. Try to make the shadow or try to make the contrast a little bit different. Okay, so this is also something you can change from here. Is there a setting to off downlights? Yes. So, okay. All right, so let's go to the, all right, so let's go to here. As you see, I have some downlights here. So if you want to leave them here, but you don't want it to show, just click on it. Here we have off. So if you put the status to off, even if I have put the light here, it's still there, but it won't show any brightness. It won't show, it won't expose at all. So you can delete it. Delete it is also fine. There will be nothing there. Or you can leave it and turn the status off. Okay, so that is another thing you can use. 3D panorama features. For that one, I'm not sure. 3D panorama. I think what you mean is because now for the panorama, it will be the same. You can use the template. You can use your custom ones. I don't know what you mean. You want to upload your own settings of the lighting? Is that what you want? For feeding 3D depth in cover viewing. I think that is something still on trial, but we can actually do that. And there is one thing called 3D lighting design. So you can actually upload your own lighting models, and you can do more professional changes of that. So if that is something interested, I think we will let our sales people know and try to give you more introduction about that one. Okay. All right. Anyway, let's go back to see the new renderings are finished or not. Okay, you see? This is the one with the auto exposure. And compared to this one, compared to this one without auto exposure. And this one with auto exposure, or this one. Or this one with the auto exposure, this one without auto exposure. So if it doesn't show the exposure, sometimes the room will be look a little bit darker. Okay. All right. So I think from my side, that is everything I want to introduce to you guys for today. And we still have some time left. And I will also leave this time for the Q&A. So if you have more questions, you can keep asking. But the secret to get a beautiful customized lighting segment requires you multiple times of testing. So for different design, for different material, it requires different settings for it. But like I said, you can always change the brightness, the color. You can change the position or the height of the light, the circular one, the rectangular one, the downlight, or the spotlight. So these are the things you can use and try to explore with your design and to see if you can find anything new or anything that you think are really helpful for your renderings, right? And yes, I think our CSC is sending the feedback form in the chat box. So everyone, if you have any feedbacks, please click on the link and try to leave your feedback so that we can improve in the future and try to give you better contents and try to know what kind of topics you'd like to know. Could you show how to get moonlight? And just the lamp on and less light in the room, a romantic setting. Can you set 3D images features in image export? Here you can only download how it looks like. So if you want other features, you have to use other software, and we don't have anything to do with that. What we can do is only the beautify function and also download exactly the same renderings. For convert the different effect features or the different formats, you need to download it and use other software to deal with it. Okay. So now let's see, we will go back to the indoor night, right? We'll go back to the night. And for the sunlight, that one depends, okay? So you can turn it off. So that means no sunlight, no moonlight. But if you want the moonlight, you can turn it on. And like I said, drag it here to the moonlight to the end. Okay, so that is the moonlight. Right, that is the moonlight. And for the softness of the shadows and the brightness, we suggest 20, 20. And the position you can change, right? The position you can change. And in order to have a romantic atmosphere, I think that one also requires several times of testing and how to do that. Normally, okay, so normally you can try to change the color of the lights a little bit, like this one here. So you can change the here. So you can change the color of the light, yellowish. So you can choose different color, right? So for the yellow or the orange color, that will give it a little bit romance. Okay, so for this one, that is one thing. And another thing is try to get the brightness, so not too much. So for now, we have the brightness 300, so that will be bright, and you will see the shadow on the wall and also on the floor or on the sofa. So you can also change the brightness a little bit down to 200 or to 150. So that is another thing. And what else is for the position? No, for the place, so where you want to add the downlights. So except the downlights itself on the ceiling. And you can also add some, like if you have a path, when people walk through the path, you can get a downlight on top of it. And also for the something you want to focus on the coffee table, on the sofa, like the cushion, the width. Or sometimes if you have a light on the wall, you can also give it an orange color downlight. So that will be something you can add to the romance atmosphere. Okay. How to undo light shadow on the wall. So if you don't want the light shadow on the wall, first of all, you can choose. So from here, we have different types of downlights and spotlights. You can choose the one with smaller shadows, okay? So you can choose the one with smaller shadow, like this one, the shadow is very big. So you can choose smaller one, like this one, smaller. And another thing is that don't get it too close to the wall. Try to make it a little bit like this. So leave a little space to the wall, then it won't reflect that much on the wall. So it will go directly on the furniture or on the floor. So that is another tip for that. In order not to get too much shadow on the wall, choose a smaller shadow spotlight, and then when you add it, leave a space to the wall. Okay. Okay, what else? Right, so thank you everybody. Remember to click on the link to leave your feedback. And for the recordings, you can contact your CSC. They will send your recordings. And if you are the individual account user, I think they can also share to the group, to the WeChat group, to the WhatsApp group, right? Okay, so thank you guys. If you have more questions, more suggestions, just keep in touch with us. And I hope to see you next time.